June 1987, Lahore, Pakistan. Early in the morning, a man walked out of a mosque after finishing his prayers. He calmly started heading toward his home, unaware that he was being watched. Two men wearing uniforms that looked like Pakistani Rangers approached him from behind. One of them stopped him and asked, "Sir, you are Abdul Khan from London, correct?" The man nodded. Within seconds, both men pulled out pistols and fired multiple shots at close range. The attack lasted only a moment, but it was enough. The man collapsed on the street and died instantly. Those attackers were not Rangers. They were unidentified gunmen linked to a covert Indian intelligence operation. The man who was killed was believed to be one of the most dangerous handlers connected to militant networks supported by the ISI. This was part of a classified mission, a mission later known as Operation Hornet, November 4th, 1984, Paris, France. Inside a small cafe, people were quietly watching the television. Breaking news was playing. The reporter announced that the French Prime Minister Laurent Fabius would travel to India to attend the funeral of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who had recently been assassinated. Most people in the cafe were focused on the screen, but one man sitting in the corner wasn't watching the news at all. In front of him were several confidential documents. He wasn't a tourist. He wasn't a businessman. He was an undercover intelligence officer. His name was Sanjeev Jindal, an operative working for India's external intelligence agency. A few days earlier, Jindal had met a British immigration officer in London named Clark Lee. Clark secretly provided information about individuals in the UK suspected of working against India. His latest report focused on one name, Abdul Khan. A handler connected to Pakistani intelligence, believed to be coordinating militant activities targeting India from abroad. According to the report, Abdul Khan was helping link extremist operatives with senior intelligence officials. Many of these meetings were happening inside his own house, and after several of those meetings, attacks in Punjab would follow. Another name kept appearing in the files. B.N. Sandhu, an operative originally from India, suspected of working closely with foreign intelligence contacts. As Jindal read the reports, his expression changed. He immediately began sending intelligence updates to headquarters in New Delhi. But no response came. At that time, India had a new Prime Minister, Rajiv Gandhi, and decisions were taking longer than expected. December 1984, RAW headquarters, New Delhi. Senior officer Anuj Bhardwaj carefully reviewed the reports sent by Jindal. When he finished reading, he gave a direct order: call him back to Delhi immediately. A few days later, Jindal arrived at headquarters. Inside a secure room, Bhardwaj asked him one question. "What do you think we should do?" Jindal answered without hesitation. "We need to capture Sandhu at any cost. He's working with people who are planning something big." Bhardwaj stared at him. "You are sure?" Jindal nodded. "The ISI chief himself is supervising him." Silence filled the room. Then Bhardwaj spoke again. "Tell me your plan." Jindal explained everything, every step, every risk, every possible outcome. When he finished, Bhardwaj approved the mission. At that moment, a new covert operation was born. Its code name was Operation Hornet. A few weeks later, Jindal arrived in London. Inside an underground parking garage, he met another field operative, Agent Mohan. Mohan had been personally trained by Anuj Bhardwaj and had already participated in several high-risk intelligence missions. Operation Hornet was divided into two phases. Phase 1, intelligence gathering. This part was handled by Clark Lee and Agent Mohan. Phase 2, covert action. This phase would be supervised directly by Sanjeev Jindal. But this was not Jindal's first dangerous mission. 2 years earlier, 1983, Vienna, Austria. At that time, Jindal was operating under a different identity. While working in Vienna, he identified a man named Asif Khan, a Pakistani national suspected of financing militant activities against India from Europe. Arresting him legally was almost impossible. So Jindal prepared a silent operation. The key to the plan was a raw asset. Her name was Sophie. Jindal personally trained her. Self-defense, surveillance, psychological manipulation, everything. Sophie began visiting a bar where Asif Khan often spent his evenings. He was known to enjoy alcohol and female company, exactly what Jindal expected. One night, Asif noticed Sophie sitting alone in the corner. He approached her. They started talking, then laughing, then drinking together. Hours passed. When the night was over, Asif offered to drive her home. Inside the car, the conversation became more personal. Sophie smiled and suggested they go somewhere else instead. Asif took her to his apartment. Inside, he went to the kitchen to prepare food. Sophie prepared drinks. They ate, they drank, and the night continued. Early in the morning, Sophie woke up. The first thing she did was check his pulse. There was none. Asif Khan was dead. She stayed calm, no panic, no mistakes. She cleaned every trace, every glass, every surface, every fingerprint. Then she left the apartment quietly. Mission complete. The plan worked perfectly, but there was a problem. The operation had been done without official permission. If headquarters found out, Jindal could be removed from the field. So he made a hard decision. He cut all contact with Sophie. No explanation, no goodbye. He left Austria under a new identity. January 1985, Austria. Jindal was sitting inside a cafe. He kept looking toward the entrance. After 2 years, he was about to meet Sophie again. She walked in. Her face showed anger. She sat down and spoke immediately. "Where did you disappear? Why did you vanish without a word? You used me for a mission, and then you left." Jindal stayed silent. In intelligence work, emotional separation was part of the job. After a moment, Sophie calmed down. "I know this is your work, so tell me, why am I here?" Jindal placed an envelope on the table. Inside was money. "I need information about a man." He showed her a name, Harpreet Ahuja. Sophie thought for a moment. "Yes, he worked with an NGO before, not anymore." Jindal pushed the envelope closer. "I need to find him, no matter how." She picked up the envelope. "You'll get your answer." Then she left the cafe. Harpreet Ahuja was an Indian Sikh who had lived in California. Before coming to Europe, he worked for a businessman named Avtar Sethi. Sethi was suspected of financing extremist networks connected to BN Sandhu. After working with him for almost a year, Harpreet suddenly disappeared. From that moment, Jindal started tracking him. Meanwhile, in Paris, Jindal received a call from Mohan. They had new intelligence. They had recruited a gardener working at Abdul Khan's house. His name was Tariq Siddiqui. For money, Tariq agreed to give information. Who visited the house, when they came, what cars they used, even license plate numbers. The visitors were not ordinary people. There were intelligence officers, military officials, operatives, and extremists. One name appeared again and again, B.N. Sandhu. And another man often came with him, Habaksh Singh. The most important detail: they were planning a trip to Islamabad next month. This could change everything. Jindal gave a new order. "Try to get photographs of everyone who visits." Mohan tried, but Tariq refused. Taking photos meant certain death. However, he agreed to something else. He would deliver the letters sent to Abdul Khan's house. Most were normal invitations, but one envelope contained a bank statement. It showed regular transfers of money. From Abdul Khan to Sandhu and Harbaksh, Plan A was complete. Now it was time for Plan B. March 1985, London. Inside the reception area of the immigration office, a nervous man was waiting in line. His name was Amarjit Singh. He was the cousin of Harbaksh Singh. He had applied for asylum, but his request had been delayed for weeks. Before he reached the counter, a man approached him casually. It was Clark Lee. Clark had been watching him for days. "Is everything okay, sir? You look worried. Maybe I can help. I work here." Amarjit hesitated. Then he spoke quietly. "I've been coming here for weeks. No one is listening to my case." Clark smiled. "Come with me. Let's talk in my office." Inside the office, another man was already sitting there, Agent Mohan. As soon as the door closed, Mohan grabbed Amarjit by the collar. His voice was cold. "You killed 4 police officers in India, and now you are asking for protection?" Amarjit froze. He couldn't speak. Clark quickly stepped in. "Enough, leave us." Mohan walked out. Clark sat in front of Amarjit and spoke calmly. "Listen carefully. Those men are angry. If they want, you won't leave this building alive, but I can help you, if you help me." Amarjit's voice trembled. "My family is in Punjab. I have 2 small children. I just want to bring them here and live safely." Clark nodded. "Then tell me everything about Harbaksh." Amarjit looked down. "After he came back from Pakistan, he changed. Pakistani men visit his house all the time. I don't know what they talk about, but something is wrong." Clark leaned forward. "If he meets Pakistani intelligence, it means he is planning something against India. Why don't you stop him?" Amarjit almost cried. "I can't. I'm only with him for money. He pays me." Clark stayed silent for a moment. Then he made the offer. "I will help you, but you must find out what he's doing. Everything." He gave Amarjit money. The trap was set. Meanwhile, in Paris, Jindal was satisfied. Clark and Mohan were producing results. But one thing worried him. Sophie hadn't contacted him in weeks. Then, suddenly, a phone call. It was her. "You need to come to Austria. I found something important." April 6th, 1985, Austria. They met in a cafe. Sophie spoke first. "After our last meeting, I tracked Harpreet Ahuja. I found him in a small city. He works as a restaurant manager now. He has money problems. So I told him, I know a businessman who can help." Jindal smiled slightly. "Good." The next day they met Harpreet. Jindal looked at him carefully. "Why did you leave California?" Harpreet answered honestly. "My life was good there, but the people around Avtar Sethi, they were not normal businessmen. They were connected to militants and intelligence people. Sethi is a traitor. He helps Sandhu. He sends money for attacks in India." Jindal watched him for a moment. Then he made a decision. "I'm not a businessman. I'm an intelligence officer, and I want you to work with me." Harpreet was shocked. He stayed silent for a long time, thinking, measuring the risk. Finally, he nodded. "I'm ready." London operations continued. Tariq was still giving information. Now Amarjit also started sending details about Harbaksh. Soon, confirmation arrived. Harbaksh had travelled to Islamabad again. August 1985. Pakistan National Highway. Harbaksh was driving alone. A heavy truck suddenly came from the wrong side. The collision was violent. The car caught fire instantly. He never escaped. Officially, it was an accident. Unofficially, one more name was removed. 3 targets remained: Abdul Khan, B.N. Sandhu, Avtar Sethi. October 1985, California. Harpreet and Sophie arrived pretending to be a normal couple. Harpreet met an old friend, Puran Singh, driver of Avtar Sethi. Puran said Sethi was under pressure. Money transfers were failing. Before, he used BCCI Bank, a bank known for illegal transfers worldwide. But now it was under investigation. Sethi needed new routes. Harpreet offered help. "I have contacts in Austria, import-export business. We can move money safely." Sethi trusted him again. For 4 months, Harpreet and Sophie mapped everything: accounts, contacts, routes, connections with intelligence officers. February 1986, Jindal called. "Leave California now." They disappeared. March 1986, California. Sethi was in his office. His secretary entered. "Sir, someone from the Indian embassy is here." He was surprised. Inside walked a man, Ranjan Gupta. He spoke directly. "We know everything. You, Sandhu, Abdul Khan, ISI connections." Sethi tried to deny. Gupta threw a file on the table. Bank records, transfers, proof. Sethi's face turned pale. "If you want to live, tell the truth." He broke. He confessed everything. He was taken to a safe house. Agent Mohan was waiting. 6 hours of interrogation, names, officers, contacts, networks. Later he was taken to Paris. Jindal and Bhardwaj questioned him for 2 days. He revealed 6 ISI officers in London, 27 operatives inside India. Soon after, a silent cleanup began. Many disappeared. No headlines, no reports, just results. July 1986. Paris. Sethi sent an audio recording, an intelligence officer talking about a major attack. Jindal presented the evidence to the British government. Action was immediate. ISI operatives were expelled from the UK. Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi spoke directly with Margaret Thatcher. Soon after, November 1986, London police arrested B.N. Sandhu. The network was collapsing, but Abdul Khan was still alive. He believed he was safe. He was wrong. June 1987, Lahore. Morning. After prayers, Abdul Khan left the mosque. 2 men in ranger uniforms approached him. "You are Abdul Khan from London?" "Yes." 9 shots. Point blank. The shooters escaped on a motorcycle. Official report. Business rivalry. Unofficial truth. A covert operation. The mission was complete. India had eliminated one of the key handlers behind years of violence. Inside intelligence circles, the operation had a name: Operation Hornet, and it became one of the most secret counter-terror missions ever carried out.